But during the 20th century, as people were confronted with some of the differences of outcome that were the result of free markets, a very different ideal began to emerge. And Friedman thought that this ideal was in conflict with freedom.
That is the ideal, that everyone should be equal in income, in level of living, in what he has. The idea that the economic race should be so arranged that everybody ends at the finish line at the same time, rather than that everyone starts at the beginning line at the same time. This concept raises a very serious problem for freedom. It is clearly in conflict with it, since it requires that the freedom of some be restricted in order to provide greater benefits to others.
How did the idea that governments should change economic outcomes become popular in the West? In a way, it started here in 1929 when the stock market crashed.
The Wall Street crash was followed by the worst depression in American history. That depression has been blamed on the failure of capitalism. It was no such thing, but the myth lives on.
Friedman thought that the Great Depression was the result of massive government failure, of stupid monetary policies and tariffs that created a trade war. But the common interpretation at the time was that capitalism had failed and that you couldn't just leave things for themselves in the face of massive unemployment and widespread poverty. So politicians worldwide were looking for a new approach.
Roosevelt's first priority after his election was to deal with massive unemployment. A public works program was started. The government financed projects to build highways, bridges, and dams. Roosevelt wanted to see America move into a new era. The Social Security Act was passed and other measures followed: unemployment benefits, welfare payments, distribution of surplus food. With these measures, of course, came rules, regulations, and red tape, as familiar today as they were novel then. The government bureaucracy began to grow, and it's been growing ever since.